Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the second video on my channel. Thank you to everyone who watched and liked the last video. I had fun making it. Today we're talking about a hot topic, something that I think is important to talk about. Our current mayor, Brandon Scott. Is he corrupt or is he incompetent? Well, I did a deep dive into him and some of his personal stuff, I guess, and I found some things. So let's run the intro and let's get into it. I'm here for the content. Before I go any further into this story, I do want to say I apologize. I was supposed to be giving away $100 in the last video, but to be fully honest, I quit my job. So I'm really trying to figure out where I'm gonna get this $100 from, but I am still giving away $100. So stay tuned to the end of the video to hear about that. And let's get into the story now. So, Brandon Scott has been serving as the 52nd mayor of Baltimore since December 2020. Before becoming the mayor, he was the president of Baltimore City Council and a council member representing the 2nd District in Baltimore. If you don't know what the 2nd District is, I'm just gonna pull up right here. I didn't know what it is either. Scott has been known for his efforts to reduce violence and promote equity in the community, I guess. It just, when I was looking it up, it just said produce equity. It is his period. I don't know produce equity where, but let's keep going. But like any politician, there's always questions about his integrity and corruption. So first, let's look at his track record. He has been a vocal advocate for transparency and accountability in the government. He introduced a legislation to create an open data policy in Baltimore and reinstalled council oversight of the Baltimore Police Department. These actions suggest a commitment to clean governance, you know? But what has he done since being in office in 2020? First of all, I can say the number of vacant properties throughout Baltimore has fallen from 15,820 to now is 14,190. And I think that's an important thing to point out because everybody's seen the vacant homes, and the problem like that has been like that for decades. And he has been one of the only politicians to put a dent into that number. The next thing that he's done since being in office, there were 335 homicides, 721 non-fatal shootings in 2020, but now in 2023. Oh, well, in 2024, but this is a record in 2023. But in 2023, there were 262 homicides and 636 non-fatal shootings. So I think it's like a, you know the percentage. He's dropped the crime rate per se. It's in 2020, the next thing he's done in 2022, Scott announced a guaranteed income pilot program to provide 200 young parents between the ages of 18 to 24 with payments of $1,000 per month over 2 years. The funding for the $4.8 million for this program came from American Rescue Plan Act. But what about his allegations of corruption? Unlike some of his predecessors, such as Catherine Pugh and Sheila Dixon, who faced serious corruption charges and they were convicted and charged.
New indictments against Mayor Sheila Dixon. A city grand jury issued the charges this afternoon.
They put back into play perjury charges that had been dismissed some 2 months ago and provide all new details about cash the mayor allegedly asked for and received. My team lead investigative reporter Jane Miller is live in the newsroom with the latest developments. Jane.
Donna, the new indictments, 2 of them, don't allege new crimes by the mayor. They do fill in new details and make clear the man she once dated is now cooperating with prosecutors.
State prosecutors got the new grand jury indictments against the mayor early this afternoon. They now split the case against Dixon into the 2 themes of theft on the one hand and perjury on the other. The 2 counts of perjury accuse the mayor of failing to report gifts from developer Ron Lipscomb in ethics filings, required prosecutors say because Lipscomb did business with the city during the time in question.
Investigators say Catherine Pugh was paid nearly $800,000 for copies of her self-published Healthy Holly children's books, even though there were multiple errors in the books, like the word vegetable spelled vegetale. According to court papers, the books were sold to nonprofit organizations and foundations which did business or attempted to do business with Maryland state government and Baltimore City.
There hasn't been any major scandals directly involving Brandon Scott. He hasn't been charged with anything. He don't have any corruption charge since being in office. But for this video specifically, I kind of did a deep search on the internet and some of my personal research to find out what are some of these allegations, you know, because you hear whispers, you know what I'm saying? You hear whispers, but I'm here to tell you what I actually found and some of the few things. I wanted to make it important to keep this an equal video. I don't want to just pull up all 10, 20 things I found. I found quite a few things, so I'm gonna keep this down to a short list of something I think is important. So let's just get into what I found. I found a non-profit organization selected by the city of Baltimore to have pre-selected storefronts for them to choose from, plus a $50,000 grant on top of that. What makes this organization so special? It was four other businesses that also got this grant, and I just wanted to know about this specifically. What made this organization so special? So I looked up the organization by itself. This is Be More Empowered. Their mission is to create programming for Black girls and women in Baltimore City that would provide them with the tools to live empowered lives through leadership and entrepreneurship and holistic wellness. Founded by Baltimore Mayor
Kita Ariarte Amin. Nazaha Amin.
Kita Ariante Amin. Nazaha Amin.
Nazaha Amin.
Nazaha Amin.
Kita Ariarte Amin.
Kita Ariante
Nazaha Amin.
Naza Amin. Okay. Founded by Baltimore native Naza Amin and Kita Ariante Amin. I sound like a robot.
Be More Empowered was one of the businesses chosen. It creates programming for Black girls and women that empowers them through leadership and wellness.
Boost has tremendously helped our business. So right now we have to turn women and girls away from our programming due to lack of space. So this will almost triple the space that we're in right now and allow us to take in more Black girls and Black women in the city and be able to provide more services for them.
What I found about this nonprofit spent 79% of its operating funds on consulting and management and fees in 2021, according to the disclosure from the Internal Revenue Source. So let's listen. Just what does this have to do with the mayor? Just keep staying in. Okay. In that same year, this lady Hannah Pugh was hired as operations director, at Be More Empowered, reporting using more than $550,000 to pay for non-programming funds. Okay, so we get where we at here. Despite its popularity in philanthropic circles, the non-profit finances are murky. You know what I mean? Well, like basically, what am I saying here? When they file their taxes, when they put a non-profit, you gotta put all your funding in here. And basically, it's like, it doesn't look clear. With only the available information on the IRS form, it's incomplete and it's confusing. Hannah Pugh compensation is not disclosed on these forms. Neither is the pay drawn from the group's co-founders. Why am I bringing this whole situation up? Today, Hannah Pugh is known as the wife of Brandon Scott and the mother of his 2 kids, soon to be 3. But in July 2023, she was just the operations director at this nonprofit being selected for this Boost grant in the city. On the day before he announced his relationship with Hannah Pugh, Mayor Scott was celebrating the selection of Be More Empowered and 4 other businesses in the second round of Boost money, basically. The facts show that itself that this lady was selected by the city to get this, you know, even with her non-profit organization having murky finance records, and it wasn't easy to tell where the money was going, but it was easy to tell that 80% of the money was going towards something other than the program, you know. And what programs did they do, you know? What programs did this organization say? So on the website, you can say that they say they have, you know, summer camps and for Black women, and they have programs and yoga programs. I mean, like, that sounds good. They're getting all this money to do programs for Black women. But why are they charging $150 for each Black woman to go in there for like a ticket, you know? I don't really want to talk about Be More Empowered. It's not a slander video, but basically this is where the wife of Mayor Scott is. This is what she does. This is her job, and it's public records. So Let me go to the next one. What else did I find, huh? Another thing I found doing my research is the donators that primarily donate to his campaign are seemingly the same law firms and construction companies that develop major products in the city. What company am I talking? Specifically, I'm talking about Seawall Development. That is the same company that redeveloped the new Lexington Market.
A look at the progress on the new space. Comptroller Peter Francho toured the new building. More than 350 businesses applied to be vendors for the 50 stalls available, and some staples will remain, including Fadley's. But the goal of the new market is to be better representation of Baltimore, and the new merchant mix increases black ownership from the current 5% to nearly 50%.
They have been documented to donate to Mayor Scott in the recent re-election and the re-election back in 2020. This video personally will be an hour long, just talking about the different laws that our mayor has broken as far as accepting donations, you know. But I'll just leave you with one last person, Jeffrey Hargrave. Jeffrey Hargrave is a founder and president of a commercial construction from Mahogany Inc. He donated a total of $8,500 to Scott specifically through 2 donations made in January 2023. And by September 2023, Hargrave was also twice a guest in the city suite at the M&T Bank Stadium last year. Records obtained by the Baltimore Sun via Public Information Act, it showed that he received 2 tickets to the September 24th game against the Indianapolis Colts, and he got 2 suite passes for the November 5th game against the Seattle Seahawks. So basically, he was practically giving out suites at the Ravens games for donations at his campaign. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad because he got over on the citizens of Baltimore. I'm just mad because I didn't get in. You know what I'm saying? I wish I was able to put my little $30 in so I can get a suite at the game. Nigga, I'm close to the stadium. I'll be at the suite all day. I live there. Goddamn. In my last video, I talked about the project and how basically it plans to turn our tourist attraction into a luxury apartment only for people that's paying $6,000 a month for rent. And recently, to give an update on that last video, it was thrown out by a judge in Arundel County, luckily.
Question F asked general election voters in the city if they want to turn several acres of the Inner Harbor Public Park into a commercial mixed-use development that includes apartment buildings and parking. Once this group of city voters got a look at it back on September 2nd, they filed legal action, calling Question F too confusing and convoluted for the average voter to understand. And today, after nearly 4 hours of legal arguments, the judge agreed. She invalidated the question, meaning though it will appear on the ballots and will be counted by the computer scans, the results will not count and will not be certified.
And yes, the harbor has been dead for the past 5 years or so. And yes, we need something new, but they didn't put in a ballot about how they planned on changing it from the pavilions in the public area to the luxury apartments, the garage, and the office spaces. They didn't tell us nothing about that. And that was mainly the reason why the judge threw it out. But as you can look at it, you can look at the last video and talk more details about that. So what does this have to do with the mayor? Well, first of all, when the judge first threw it out, the mayor was the first person to come on television to fight back and to say how, the judge in Arundel County shouldn't be talking about Baltimore Harbor.
We don't believe that first and foremost the judge in Anne Arundel County should be telling the residents of Baltimore what to do.
Sharp words from Mayor Brandon Scott, who reacted Wednesday to an Anne Arundel County judge's decision to invalidate Baltimore City ballot question F.
Well, that's what happens when you send a ballot to put on somebody's ballot. You got to send it to the judge to get approved, and the judge got to look at it. And the judge is not from Baltimore. The judge goes to Arundel County. I mean, it's just rules. That's just how it works. The judge is not in Baltimore. He's in Arundel County. But I'm sorry, getting a little bit off script. But also, what do you know? The same company that's developing, that's the main role in redeveloping the harbor, MCB Real Estate, that is the same company that has given donation after donations, not just any old regular donations that exceeded the limit for the law that says you got it. Like, it's a certain limit, you know what I'm saying? And you're probably thinking, what's wrong with these companies donating to the mayor? You know what I'm saying? It's just, he's supposed to be donating. He's supposed to be, well, originally these donations are supposed to be for the citizens of Baltimore. I mean, just for the citizens to put their money towards whatever candidate they believe in. You know what I'm saying? And our current mayor, his records show that a lot of his donations never came from the citizens at all. Most of his donations came from these law firms, these construction sites that had their hands in major redevelopment roles. Let's talk about the mayor specifically in our situation. He came from being a councilman of the 2nd district of the city. Statistically, that part of Baltimore, matter of fact, let's just broaden it to the whole Baltimore citywide. Statistically, citywide, nobody citywide can afford to make contributions $500 or more to our mayor campaign. You know what I mean? So just for that simple fact or that simple statistic, let's just add a little common sense to it. Who do you think our mayor is obligated to? Do you think our mayor is obligated to the poor citizens of the city that can't even make a simple donation to him? Or you think he's obligated to these companies that aimlessly sends around hundreds of thousands of dollars to political people and campaigns to get their buildings improved and stuff like that? But I'm just gonna keep moving on. I'm gonna keep moving on out this video. I just want you to know that the moments that I brought up in this video are not the only allegations I found. I found way more in depth, way more deeper allegations. I just try to keep it brief to give you, you know what I'm saying? But you can do your own research. I gave you enough foundation to search. Now you know what to look for. You know what I mean? Even with Baltimore's long history of political corruption, skepticism is just high against our residents. You know. I mean, of course, Baltimore residents, we know our past is corrupt. We know about Sheila Dixon and Pugh and about all these corruption charges and all the corruption in our Baltimore police. We know about that, and it just kind of felt like the perception that they gave us was that now the corruption is over. We got Mayor Scott now. He's not corrupt. He's a black man from the city, and then we like, of course, that sounds good and all, but statistically, corruption doesn't stop with one mayor term. It doesn't stop with 2 mayor terms. This is a decade. We've been put in some shit, and we gotta claw ourselves out of it. So is our Baltimore mayor corrupt? Based on the evidence, I haven't really found any. In my research, I haven't found really any evidence or anything to really support that idea. I just thought it would be a good idea to look into one of our Baltimore leaders, you know, because before this mayor, we had corrupt mayors, you know, Dixon and stuff like that, and they kind of just told us like it was over now, and it's just like it's not really that easy to fix a corruption like that easy in that short amount of time anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the information that I found. I'm not telling you what side to be on, really. I'm just on the side of facts. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for tuning in to the episode. We will see you next time, and bye.